10, President Donald Trump says he will reopen and expand Alcatraz prison. The notorious former prison is on a hard-to-reach island that's been closed for more than 60 years. In a post to his Truth Social site tonight, Trump said he directed the Bureau of Prisons to reopen a rebuilt Alcatraz to house violent offenders. The federal prison closed in 1963 because of crumbling infrastructure and the high cost of supplying the island with everything from fuel to food because it all had to be shipped by boat. Also tonight, the president extended his trade war to movies. On social media, President Trump said he instructed the Commerce Department to place a 100% tariff on films produced outside the U.S. and imported into America. He said, quote, "We want movies made in America again. It's not clear how such a tariff would be imposed."
This guy's a joke.
Are you swiping your...
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Hold on, let me make sure I get this right. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters out there under this like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. You can clearly see them. This is utter madness. Just so like a few seconds of this. So the reopen of Alcatraz, the famous prison. They made a movie out of it. Clint Eastwood was in that movie. It was called Alcatraz, and I believe they said there's only one prisoner that ever escaped Alcatraz, and he was supposed to be that guy. So that area was what's the word for it? They were supposed to get out of that situation. Everything's supposed to have changed since Trump came into office, but things are day by day getting worse and worse. And the theme of lately has been what? Prisons. All right. Other than World War III, other than, people losing their jobs, there's a lot of prison talk in the atmosphere. Why? Because you have this particular president doing deals with other countries and sending forth criminals to these said countries, even American citizens. The whole ICE debacle that's going on, giving them extraordinary powers. And these extraordinary powers is giving them the rights to get their own citizens. So this proves that the scriptures is speaking louder and clearer every single moment. And this man is the cruel Lord. And this proves once again, matter of fact, let me get started with that one. The scriptures hold weight. Matter of fact, let me read this first. Revelations 2:10. It says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison." So people may read that, they think it's just in one event. We're about to entering a prison planet. All right. And these devils are known for doing that. It's part of their forte. Okay. This really part of their agenda, other than destroying people or massacring people, is to lock people up. This is what they do very well. So it says that some of the elect is going to be sent into prisons. Now, is it a shocker that these people are now more and more talking about more prisons? All right, more than ever? No, it's not, because that's part of the prophecy. Henceforth, this prophecy is being fulfilled, and every ounce, every angle that you could think of. They trying to put people in. They trying to trying to lock people up. They showed us a couple of years. No, it was a couple of years ago. Maybe 5-6 years ago. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, probably 5 or 6 years ago when they locked down the world for the pandemic. And when they locked down the world for the pandemic, the best place to put people, since they couldn't get these concentration camps the way they wanted them, says lock their asses at home. So they locked people at home, and then when people finally got free, when the wardens finally let them loose, they allowed crime to skyrocket. Then they set up, let's show you this man's a devil. Then they set up the order out of chaos. They created a chaotic scene where they allowed all these people from other countries to come over here, the worst of the worst. Now, after they set forth this chaos, here comes the order. All right? This is why, a couple of scriptures really. Isaiah 19, let me get this real quick. 19 and... Isaiah 19 and 4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord. A fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. That cruel lord will be Donald J. Trump. They set things up so perfectly where if you second guess everything, then you're part of the problem. But the problem that they set up, they the ones that put this thing together. Matter of fact, they the ones that put everything together, and now they want to imprison the majority of people. I believe New York City years ago they was talking about they were going to shut down Rikers Island. All right, a famous prison in New York. That shit is out the window. Oh, how can I forget? Guantanamo Bay. Guantanamo Bay was supposed to be something that was supposed to be buried. And what did they do? They didn't take it down. They reinforced it. Okay, it says Psalms. No, it's 50. I believe it's 50. The one I'm thinking of. Psalms 50 and to the point 18. When I saw as a thief that consented with him, that has been partaker with adulterers, that has given thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. So they set these things up. I'm watching a great film actually, Casino. That whole era, that's Casino. 1997, Casino came out. Early in the 90s, Goodfellas. I believe 1990. New Jack City. What else? All these gangster movies was a way of what? Promoting what's the word I'm looking for? All it was doing was promoting violence. All it was representing what? The way they want it to be. So when people in turn act the way, like when hip hop was a vast music genre in his baby stage. But the industry moved in a way that only focused on the gangster shit. Gangster rap, they called it. So now everybody see that in order for you to get what you want, You don't have to go out there and get an education or so forth. You just take it. And these are the films, like I'm saying, Casino, which is playing right now, Goodfellas and so forth. All these movies, even the black movies, these are the things that they put into our minds, program it to the minds of the people. When it came to Jake, especially at that time, which goes to the next verse. In order for Jake to be respected in the hood, he had to go to prison. So if he's going into prison, that was like, for Jake, that was a part of being a man. You know, being a manhood. So they did all this shit, and they themselves are the biggest gangsters, rapists, robbers, murderers, and they promote it. They promote it in such a way. But guess what? When at the end of the day, who pays for those acts the most? You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It says, verse 20, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, which are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the Israelites. They speak against us. They set agendas, set the media to come against the Lord's chosen people. Thy slandered thy own mother's son. These things has I done, I kept silence. Thou thoughtest thou was altogether such as one as thyself. But I will reprove thee, and I will set them in order before thine eyes. And then the Lord has done that. By what? The elect. The brothers that's out there in the highways and byways, changing their life and speaking against this society. That's who the Lord is, who set up. So now the devil, knowing that he has a short time, is setting things up to fulfill the rest of the prophecies. Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, it gives you a clue. Matter of fact, let me go into that real quick. It gives us a clue of what they plan to do. This man has got into power, and he didn't even go after. He started as he was going after everything that the last administration has done, but he's getting worse and worse by the second, making everybody's lives miserable. All right, putting things in order, which he's nothing but a puppet. They're putting things in order so that way they could come down hard on the people. Second Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, I think it's 2 and 9. It's a key word. Yep. It says, I just want to get to a point. But it is what it is. 2 and 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of age. And this is Solomon and thoughts in the minds and how the wicked today are acting, how they think, oh, it's right there. Let our strength be the law of justice, for which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. And this whole entire system was created to be against the poor. All right? Against the poor. This whole entire system is against us. Always got to remember, mass incarceration was dealt after slavery. All right? The 13th Amendment deems that any person that commit a crime, rights was taken away from them. So now you can't get anybody on to the way they want to do it. They are forcing people to get locked up. And now that it's out there, we see with our own eyes what's happening. This scripture, this one line alone speaks volume. I'm going to read it again. It said, let our strength be the law of justice. What law? They change laws to better their cause. All right? For that which is feeble is found to be nothing. And who's feeble? The poor of this world. Who's the poor? You Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are hunted down like what's his face? Was it The Rock? Not The Rock, the wrestler, but the actor. And what was it? Minister of Society. He said the hunt is on, and Negroes. I believe he said that, and the Negroes are the prey. They've been preying on our people for a long time. So therefore, let us lay in wait for the righteous, because he's not for our turn. He is clean, contrary to our doings. He upbrighteth us with our offending the law. Which law is that? Is he talking about the law of the land? No, it's talking about the law of the scriptures. And the righteous is talking about the elect. They setting it up. We got to look at it. If you're new to this, you got to understand what happens in the grand scheme of things, or the grand scheme of everything, is a shot to come at those that are the elect. They set the environment. Yeah, they're going to use other Israelites to show how wild and crazy, but they setting it up to get after the elect. That's all this has been about. This is the object to our infamy, the transgression of our education. So they're going to use everything in their power to justify what they're about to do to the masses of people, mainly the elect. That's why they're going to call the elect men and women and children the T word. Okay? They're going to do that. And now they have openly said that they open up all these prisons for what? Because there's so much criminals in America? No, because they want to mass incarceration everybody. That's why they want to build up the smart cities. All right? Let me get this real quick. Get this out the way. Isaiah 14. Yep. 14 and 16, it says, and this is a future prophecy. This is what the people, all right, the other nations are going to say at that time. It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? So this man is about to go from on top, passing on all these unrighteous laws and making it harder for everybody, right, to become nothing, a beggar, a poor, a bum, trading places, but worse. Now everybody's going to be against these people. It says that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms. Why? Through their heart program, through their military might. Okay, that made the world as a wilderness. And aren't they not doing that? They say that the climate is changing, and there's certain spots in the world that's going to be more devastating than others, and they're responsible for every aspect of that. Elder Inop just put up a video of Bill Gates, and what is he planning to do? To block out the sun. All right, what nation of people dropped a bomb, atomic bomb, onto another? There was no other people in the planet Earth that did that. It says, and destroy the cities thereof, that open not the house of his prisoners. America is the largest nation that incarcerate their own citizens. And one minute they say they're gonna close down these shits, next minute they opening up everything. This man speaks in four tongues, like the scripture says. Like Gad used to say. He speak out his ass. All right. So yeah, they about to lock shit down. They about to round up a lot of people, and they're gonna use the guise of what? The migrates. They might do a T attack. All right, to do what they're gonna do. Second Ezra 15. 11. Nope, further up. No, I'm sorry. Second Ezra 15 and I'll start at 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, death and destruction. Scripture tells you, I quoted it, but Revelations 12, the 12th chapter, and how Satan will come down with wrath, knowing that he has a short time. So it's giving us an indication of a period of time that's going to take place that's going to be so volatile that the regular average folk is going to have no power at all. So the scriptures, this is the tribulation, the great tribulation. And it's going to be conducted by a race of people. All right? Proving that they are the devil that the Bible speaks of. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So something is going to cause people to flip out. You have a lot of these people that are MAGA supporters, that was all pro-Trump. Okay? And then you have the opposition that was built up for the last 4 years that was against Trump. So people are going to fight over political disagreements. Okay? And whatever happens is going to happen. For there shall be sedition among men. There's laws that they cooked up in the book that anybody that can't speak against those gutter rats. All right? And anybody that speaks against this country should be taken out. These are the reasons why they open up Alcatraz. You could get locked up in New York City, but they'll ship your ass to all the way to San Francisco, or they might ship your ass overseas, because this thing is a new world order. And this new world order is the agreement as is written in Psalms the 83rd chapter. But this is what they've all planning. They all planning to incarcerate the majority of people. So anybody that comes up and speak against that, that's called sedition, just to spark anything. So they've got everything locked down. It says, and invading one another. Why are people going to invade one another? Because things are about to change. The shelves about to be emptied. Okay, they're gonna run out of the supply. You hear this clown talking about 100% tariffs against foreign movies. Is that fucking really gonna help the economy? Shit, even with the auto industry, you mean to tell me he decides to make all these things, to come against all these things and have nothing planned behind it? Either he's that dumb, or they don't give a damn. All right? And I believe there's both. He's that dumb and they don't give a damn. Because it's impossible to run any business, any sort of business. Okay? And knowing what's going to come afterwards and just act like nothing's going to happen. So they don't give a rat's, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes. And this is exactly the reason why they're not going to give a damn what Trump said. They're going to look at Trump like, you the cause of these problems. But the response of the Trump administration and so forth is like, oh, lock their asses up. It says, in the course of their action shall stand in their power. The course of their action is what? They're gonna do things the way people are gonna have their reasons to lose it. And here's the point: a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able. So the man that's gonna desire to go to a city, because those cities are gonna be locked down. And the vast different forms of it, past couple of years, we thought it was just martial law, which is gonna be martial law, but it's gonna be those smart cities. In order to get into those cities, you have to have what? That shit. Because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and a great tribulation. And a great tribulation is coming. They're setting everything in motion. All right. See, the Most High is playing advanced chess. I mean, out of this world chess. Esau is playing chess, and the people are in the world are nothing but pawns. All right. Nothing but pawns, because the Lord gave him the power to do these things. And there's nothing wrong to admit that. Esau is in the power seat. For you brothers and sisters out there, yeah, the white man's going down, but he's in his power seat. This is why we can't take him out of his blessing with the sword. We can't do that. That's a loss right there. The only way we win is by the Lord intervening for us. As long as we do according to his will. All right, going back to Revelations, let me finish it off, because it's very important to understand shit is about to happen. All right, we all subject to whatever fashion that the Yahweh Shai desire for us. But at the end of the day, if we're the elect, we will be fine, no matter what situation they put us in. The Lord's gonna have us. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. And it proves right then and there is not talking about the spiritual demon, Satan. Physical men is going to throw other men and women and children into prison, that you may be tried. The tried is what? Tested. So all these are the testing grounds. All right. And you shall have tribulation 10 days. So some brothers may get locked up. Some people may, for hours or a couple of days. Did not the Lord deliver Peter out of his situation? And he had Roman soldiers that was all beside him. He was covered, basically. I believe it says quinterians. So there was 4 Roman soldiers that was right with him the whole time, fell asleep, and the Lord still delivered Peter out of that situation. All right. Be thou faithful unto death, and if some of us have to pass, some of us have to pass. It's just a transitional period, and with that transition, guess what was going to end up happening? We'll be crowned. This is part of the faith. It says, and I will give thee a crown of life. And this is what we're working for. So this devil is using all their resources in order to trap the elect. All right, to lock everything down. Okay, take you out of your comfort zone. But at the end of the day, the Lord's going to deliver. He's the one. What? I got it. You know what? Isaiah 42. It says Isaiah 42, I believe. Oh, okay. All right, Isaiah 42 and 6. I, the Lord, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thy hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles. Right? This Gentiles is, matter of fact, Goyim, right? So the light of the Gentiles is what? The elect. All right? Israel, the nation of Israel is already elected, but there's an elect amongst Israel. It says to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of prison house. So yeah, the Lord is going to deliver his people from these set situations. It says, I am the Yahweh, that is my name and my glory, when I not give to another, neither my praise to graven image. So the Lord is dealing with his people. No matter what the situation is, it's all about Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Alright? Him dealing with his people. So the Lord is going to deliver his people from these set dangerous situations. So they could set it up all they want. They could set up the Walmarts. They could have more prisoners. They could lock people down in cities. Whatever they want. The Lord is going to be the one to deliver his people. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nations. Shalom.